button. Oh, there we go. Now we're recording. Hey, how we doing out there? Friends, literally anybody. Anyway. So, let me look at last week real quick, but also just drag this down real here. That's not a real sentence. Anyway. So last week, we made predictions, but it didn't go up until after the Thursday game. This is going to happen again this time. So, whatever. So, those just count as losses towards the overall record. But, anyway. So, that would make me 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. I think I predicted the Lions would win that, so that'd be 2-2, 2-3, 3-2, 4. Wait. So this is 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3, 7-4. I believe that was 8-4, 9-4, 10-4. I think I was 11. No, I said the Chiefs are gonna win this one, didn't I? Wait, no, did I? I don't think I did. No, okay, 11-4, 12-4. Damn, I went 12-4 last week. Damn, I had a good week last week. But this week, we're already over one because we didn't predict that game. But, I mean, that game pretty much went the way I thought it would anyway. Okay, so, Dolphins-Jags. Oh, boy, both teams are really bad. What can I say? Although, you know what? Because I feel like this might be a chance for them, I'm gonna predict the Jags win. This is definitely an upset pick if I say that they win, because the Dolphins, while being really bad this season, are still probably not as bad as the Jags, but I think that the Jags can win this, especially at home. I don't really see it being more than like 23-17 or something like that, but I think the Jags can get their first dub of the season here against the Dolphins. Realistically, shouldn't be that hard, but it is the Jaguars, so they'll probably make it harder than it needs to be. Yeah, moving on. 23-17 Jags get the Vikings versus Panthers. So both these teams are kind of confusing to me. Recently, the Panthers have kind of shown that they probably shouldn't have been 3-0, but we all kind of knew that anyway. Yeah, no, I think the Vikings win this. I think the Vikings are a little bit more consistent than the Panthers have been this season. This is a very confusing game. Should be a game you might want to watch if you like turnovers, because I think that's what we're going to see here. We're going to see a lot of weird plays, turnovers, just a circus of a game here potentially happening. And that's why I'm going to go say it's a 17-10 Vikings get the win. I don't think it's going to be an offensive battle. I think, if anything, it's going to be a defensive battle. But I think the Vikings score one more touchdown than the Panthers. Whew. And talking about a complete shift from the last game that we just talked about, the Chargers and the Ravens. Now, this is a Ravens home game that the Ravens have been playing. They've had their ups and downs this year, but despite all that, they're 4-1. The same thing with the Chargers. The thing is, the Ravens, I think, finally put it together that you can't just always run the ball all the time. They don't have to worry about a record anymore. They don't have to worry about that no matter what. They didn't get it against the Colts last week, but that's okay. They did win against the Colts last week like I thought they would, but it was another win in a crazy way yet again. The Ravens can't seem to get out of crazy games. I'm a Ravens fan, so it's kind of disappointing to me that they always have to keep it so close. But I think this is going to be another close one. I think it's going to be a shootout. The Chargers scored 47 points last week. I think they are somewhere close to the highest scoring offense in the NFL. That being said, I have more confidence in the Ravens defense than the Browns defense. Whether that's warranted or not, I don't know, but both quarterbacks in this game are fantastic. This is going to be a really fun game to watch. But, maybe it's a little bit biased, but I'm going to predict the Ravens are going to win this. I think the Ravens are just slightly better than the Chargers. I think the Ravens win this 35 to 32. It's going to be a close game, but I don't see it being a low-scoring game, and I see both teams giving it their all throughout the entire game for sure. Rams versus Giants. Now, the Giants got very dinged up last week, and they were already a worse football team than the Rams. This should be a runaway game for the Rams. They should win this one big. I'm going to go ahead and say 42 to 17. Rams get the dub over the Giants. Texans, Colts. I got to go with the Colts on this one. The Colts have played really well this season against basically everybody they've played. The Texans are the worst team here. The Colts almost beat the Ravens last week. They probably would have if it weren't for a couple of missed field goals and one of them being blocked. And just Lamar Jackson playing out of his mind in the second half, specifically the end of the third quarter and all of the fourth. But yeah, I think the Colts should take this dub here. It shouldn't be too hard for them. The Texans are just a hot mess right now, but I think the Colts even score 30 on them. I'll say 30 to 24. I don't think the Colts are that good either, but I think they're a better team than the Texans. And it's being played in Indianapolis. The Colts get their season a little bit more back on track. But we got to talk about the next game now, so let's go ahead and do that. Chiefs versus Washington. Okay, the Chiefs should be able to win this game. The Chiefs this season are looking a little bit more like they are not real contenders. Everybody thought they would be, they would be the Super Bowl favorites, or at least, AFC champion favorites, because they have Patrick Mahomes and everything was going to be great, and, their defense is not that good, but it was good enough to keep up for them last year. This year, that's not the case. Right, they're 2-3. They realistically, with the roster they have on offense, should be, more than that. They should be, probably like 4-1 or 5-0, right? But no, they're not. And the reality is, this is one of the better defenses that the Chiefs will face all season. So I'm pretty sure basically every single team can at least score 30 points on the Chiefs' defense. I'm not even kidding. I'm pretty sure every team in the NFL could do that, because that defense is so bad. You know who the Chiefs remind me of? They remind me of the Cowboys last season. Fantastic offense, excellent quarterback, and yes, Dak Prescott is an excellent quarterback. He's proving it this season. But your defense is so bad that even a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes might not be able to carry you to all the wins that you realistically would be able to get otherwise. So I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to win just because I don't think Washington as a team, as a collective unit, has what it takes to beat down the Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes is healthy. But yeah, it's going to be a close one, believe it or not. I think the Chiefs win like 37 to 32 or something like that, but it's going to be a wild one and a good one. Packers versus Bears. Man, this is a great matchup every season. The Packers are a little bit shaky, but Aaron Rodgers masks a lot of their problems. They do have a better defense than the Chiefs, And I think that, Rodgers has been playing really well this season. The Bears' offense is really suspect, probably the worst offense in the league. And I think that would be fair to say. Although the numbers don't show it because, teams like the Jags and the Lions and like a whole lot of other teams at the bottom of the barrel are probably doing worse. The Bears don't really turn the ball over too much. Justin Fields, to me, I thought Justin Fields was going to be the best rookie quarterback this season. That's turning out to not be true, but he is good enough to manage games. And the Bears have always had a game manager quarterback anyway, because they've always been a defensive team, which it's time to make the shift because no one wants defenses anymore. It's the same thing that the Ravens were. Then now the Ravens have made the shift. And it's the Bears are the final team in the NFL who I think I can really say, oh yeah, that's a hard-hitting defensive team who they have like this thing, and it's been there forever. Like the Bears' only Super Bowl win back in 1985 was because of their defense, right? Not because they had an amazing offense or anything like that. Like they had a decent offense, right? But their defense won it for them, right? So everybody already knew that in 1985. It was a while ago. That was almost 40 years ago at this point. But that's beyond that. I think the Packers win this game, though. I don't see how the Bears are going to end up winning it, but I think it's going to be close. These teams, this is one of the oldest rivalries in the NFL, if not the oldest rivalry in the NFL. And honestly, these teams always make it interesting. I think it's going to be 27-24 Packers. The Bengals and the Lions. Man, it does not get any easier for the Lions, does it? Now, the Lions got to play the whole AFC North this year, which means they also got to play. They already played the Ravens. The Ravens beat them by a field goal. And then now they have to play the Bengals. And while I think the Bengals are, a team that's potentially easier for the Lions to beat, I don't see the Lions winning here. I'm going to predict the Bengals win this game. And the reason I'm going to predict the Bengals win is because I think Joe Burrow is good enough that even if it's in a close game, the Bengals can win by a touchdown or a field goal. And it's probably going to be close. Because I look at the Lions and I'm like, this team is this close. They're this close to being good. But then they always lose at the very last second. That's been their whole season. You look at the Lions' season thus far, right? Besides, they're 0-5. The Bengals are 3-2. You look at the Lions this season, and they've lost some heartbreakers this season, man. They've just lost some close ones. Aside from, week 1 and 2, the last 3 weeks, the Ravens by 3, actually by 2. The Ravens by 2, the Bears by 10, and then again the Vikings by 2. They've lost 2 games in a row. Well, 2 games this season to field goals. You look at what the Lions are scoring this season. They score around 24 points a game with that 33 anomaly there against the Niners, right? But they're scoring 17 points per game usually, which is not enough to win in this NFL. Maybe 10 years ago they would have won one of these games, right? But not anymore, dude. And if you look at their schedule, I think there are some winnable games on their schedule here. I think the Lions will eventually get, they'll get a win eventually, but it's not going to come this week. It's not going to come this week. The Bengals are too good offensively for that to happen. Joe Burrow is he's the best quarterback to come out of this draft class. You look over the past 2 years, he's the best quarterback to come out come out of the last two draft classes for sure. It's just that he plays in the Bengals. I think it's gonna be like a close game though. I think it's gonna be 24 or 27-24 Bengals, and it's in Detroit too, so that's gonna be really unfortunate. But yeah. Cardinals Browns. So we talked about a team that doesn't have a win. Now we're talking about the only undefeated team left in the NFL, in the Cardinals. I don't know why the heck the Browns. Well, actually, I do. This is the added game. So every single team had a game that was added to their schedule. The Cardinals were third in the NFC West last year. The Browns were third in the AFC North last year. Therefore, the teams have to play each other. So every single team gets, there are 5, there used to only be 4 NFC, AFC games in each division. This year there are 5. So this is actually the number 5 game added. Well, I guess, yeah, like I said, it's the added game that the Cardinals and the Browns have to play. So this game, it matters for both teams, right? In the long run, in like the conferences, it doesn't matter, but it will add a win to one team's schedule and a loss to the other one. I like this game. I think it's a good game to watch potentially. I think this might be a little bit of a trap game for the Cardinals. The Browns are without OBJ. I don't know if they have Jarvis Landry back yet or not, but they might be down their 2 best receivers. And if that's the case, it's going to be hard for them to win. I think the Cardinals win this and stay undefeated. I think the Cardinals put up at least 30 points to the Browns. The Browns' defense is suspect, yo. I'm telling you, even with Myles Garrett, that defense is still suspect. They're giving up a ton of points every game, dude. Like, not even like, yeah, they're 3-2. They're a good team, but like they're giving up a lot of points like every single game, man. Like first game against the Chiefs, 33. Then they give up 21 to the Texans. Then the Bears, well, that game is like then they have like 2 games here where they actually did a good job of not giving up too many points. But then they gave up 47 points last week. So you're talking about a team that's given up like probably close to like 28 to 29 points a game. That's not good, right? I don't know what the actual math is, but you know, with the 47 and the 33 and then the 21 there, you've had a decent amount of games this season where, you know, and then you have games like this. So the defense isn't bad. It's just inconsistent, right? Like, but you can't have inconsistency against a team that's as good as the Cardinals. I think at this point, you're looking at a situation where the 2 teams that are favored to go to the Super Bowl are probably the Cardinals and the Bills. And the Cardinals are the only undefeated team left in the NFL, so it could realistically potentially happen. But I think there are a lot of different things that you gotta take into consideration still too, because like just because they're undefeated now doesn't mean that that will hold up till the end of the season. But I think it holds up through this week. I think the Cardinals get the dub, 28-24. Cowboys Patriots. I love this matchup. Yo, about halfway through the game last week, I texted my friends and I criticized Bill Belichick for, you know, allowing the Patriots to give up so many points to the Texans. And guess what? They're going to give up more points to the Dallas Cowboys this week. The Patriots ended up winning last week, but they're not going to win this week. There's no way, man. Okay. I don't think Belichick has ever lost to the Cowboys in his whole entire career, but he's about to take his first L to the Dallas Cowboys this season. Alright, the Cowboys offense is incredible. I'm already going to call it. The Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. None of the other teams come close to being how good they are. Like, the Cowboys already have, 4 wins? They need, 2 to 3 more wins to win that division, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. That division is horrible. Washington is the second best team in that division, but even then, they're still nowhere close to as good as how the Cowboys are right now. And I think a lot of people are overrating the Cowboys right now, but and saying they're a top 5, a top 3 team in the NFL. I don't know that they're that good. I'm not that sold on them that just yet, but what I am sold on is that they're a good team and they're going to make the playoffs. If Dak Prescott is healthy, which it's looking like he's probably going to stay healthy this season, which you never know. You can never know in the NFL, but if Dak stays healthy, the Cowboys are a good team. And, I like Mac Jones. I think he's a good quarterback, but he is a lot to live up to in New England. And if you look at the New England Patriots this season, they've had a lot of interesting games. Their defense is pretty good, okay? I'll give them that, right? You look at the Patriots' defense, right? They're not giving up a whole lot of points per game. They've got probably one of the better defenses in the NFL, just like looking at how many points they give up per game. But they gave up 22 points to a Texans offense that's been stifled, right? Oh, let's look this up. Is Tyrod Taylor coming back this week for the Texans? Tyrod Taylor. I just want to know. This has nothing to do with the game. It doesn't really say, but let's see, news. Tyrod is our starting cornerback when he's healthy. Yeah, but that doesn't tell me if he is actually healthy. Well, yeah. Whatever. Anyway, we know that when Tyrod returns from his injury, which it will be some point this season, he will come back to play again for the Texans. But that doesn't matter because the Cowboys and Patriots are playing here, and this is a whole different Texas team. Anyway, I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I think it's going to be closer than people think, but I'm going to say it's going to be 32-28. Cowboys get the dub. That's next week. Patriots-Jets. That'll be a good game too, but that's not this week though. Raiders-Broncos. The Broncos are the worst team in this division. John Gruden was fired for being a racist asshole, and among other things. And he was fired for a Hillary Clinton email scandal that actually existed. Exactly. But no, like the John Gruden email stuff was completely ridiculous. I can't believe he said all the things he said. I haven't even seen what was in them. I don't think I want to see, but I know for a fact that he said bad stuff in there. So, yeah, the Raiders don't have a head coach right now. Shouldn't matter. That team is more talented than the Broncos are anyway. They should be able to win that game pretty easily, even without John Gruden being there. I'm sure the interim head coach they have is decent. And yeah, that should be a Raiders victory. I think it will be close because it's a divisional game. So I'm going to say it's 24-21 Raiders. But I just don't see the Broncos winning many more games, especially with Drew Lock under the helm. Although I don't know if I think Teddy came back already. Even so, Teddy Bridgewater is pretty mediocre. And the Raiders offense is going to be able to light up the Broncos defense just like every single actual good team that's played them this year has done. The Seahawks and the Steelers is, let's do real quick research. Russell Wilson. This is the Steelers' additive game in the NFC. Seahawks placed Russell Wilson Chris on injured reserve. Okay, so the Steelers are going to win this game. I already know because Russell Wilson is on IR. Russell Wilson being on IR means the Seahawks are automatically the worst team in their division now because that's how good Russell Wilson is. If the Steelers lose this game, it will be a gigantic upset, and the Steelers will return to 500 on the season. Keeping them in last place in the AFC North won't really matter for that much longer, though, because the Browns are probably also going to lose this week. And guess what? After this week, the Ravens are still going to be in the first place, the Bengals are going to be in second, the Browns are going to be in third, and the Steelers are going to be in last. The exact opposite of what, besides the Ravens being in first, pretty much the exact opposite of what every expert thought they would be. Exactly. That being said, Geno Smith is the starter for the Seahawks this week, and I actually have some faith in Geno because he was able to be a starter before in his career. I think he's a decent backup, but I don't think he's got enough juice to be able to take on Big Ben and the Steelers' defense. And also just have a quarterback duel with Big Ben because this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. But that being said, I still think the Steelers are going to win. I'll even say it's going to be a very low-scoring game, 17-10. The Steelers win. Bills-Titans. Bills. The Bills have shown over and over again that they are a good team this year, and I mean really good. In fact, a lot of people think that they're Super Bowl favorites now. I don't know about that, but we'll see. The Bills, at the very least, are, one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Titans are severely inconsistent, even though they have a really good offense right now. Their defense is really, really bad. If we look at the Titans' games so far, they have to kind of win this one. They've lost to the Jets, so that should tell you all you need to know. And then, they're giving up a ton of points to basically everybody who they play. 38 there, 30 there, and the first 2 weeks they give up more than 30 points, and then 16 to the Colts, and then 27 to the Jets, to lose to the Jets, and 19 to the Jags. They literally have not given up less than 16 points this season in a game. So we're talking about a team that gives up a lot of points, and we're talking about a team that scores a lot of points. And we're talking about a Titans team that is not very good when they get a lot of points scored on them. Right? So I think the Bills handle their business here pretty easily and score at least 37 points. So I'll even say it's going to be 37-27 with the Bills taking the 10-point victory. With that, I'm going to wrap these picks up. Oh yeah, forget about going over what games are probably going to be the best this week. So obviously the Buccaneers-Eagles game was pretty good, with the Buccaneers winning that game kind of predictably. I think the Eagles are a better team than people give them credit for because Jalen Hurts is just a really good quarterback. If you look at the Eagles' passing yards, you can see, Hurts had himself a pretty average game, but he hasn't been bad this season. I think Hurts, if you give him the weapons, turns into a much better quarterback. And we can also see that the Buccaneers might not be in the same place that they were last season. But, the Buccaneers played games like this all last season too and still ended up winning the Super Bowl. But when you have Tom Brady, winning the Super Bowl is actually a lot easier. Because it's Tom Brady. But yeah, there are a couple of decent games, like the Ravens-Chargers game. And I'm biased, I'm a Ravens fan, but I know for a fact this is going to be a good game. My football fantasy quarterback is actually Justin Herbert. So, yeah, even if this ends up being a shootout, I'll still be okay either way. Giants-Rams is going to be trash because it's going to be a blowout. This game is just going to be... This might be a good game, but it's kind of going to be a funny game at the very least. If anyone ends up watching this game, because I won't, because the only game I'm probably going to watch this week is the Ravens and Chargers game. I'll keep tabs on all the other games to see how they go. But this is probably the only game I'm going to watch, personally, because I'm a Ravens fan. But if anybody watches the Texans-Colts game, let me know how that actually turned out, because, man, I feel like it's going to be a circus. Let's see. Oh, Bears-Packers. I think that's going to be a good one. It could end up being a complete crap fest, but you never know. Anyway, Cardinals-Browns, no, that's not going to be good. I think Cowboys-Patriots is going to be good. Something tells me that's going to be a good game. I would watch it. If there's another game that I could get to watch this week besides the Ravens game, I would probably watch the Cowboys-Patriots game, because that's probably going to be a fun game to watch. Also, I just want to be able to see how Mac Jones is doing, because Mac Jones looks like he is a capable quarterback already. and I think he's got a lot to deal with being the quarterback of the Patriots this early after the Tom Brady era. So I'll give him props for dealing with that quite well. I don't know that the Patriots are a playoff team, but they got a chance. They got a chance. I don't think they would go that far though. The Bills-Titans game is going to be really good. It's potentially going to be setting up both teams for the playoffs. If we don't look at the AFC South real quick here, this division is ridiculous. Okay, the Titans are on top with a 3-2 record, and then literally all the other teams are kind of garbage. The AFC South and the NFC East are definitely the worst divisions in football this year. I mean, yeah, I think the NFC East is surprisingly better than the AFC South, and last season that was definitely not the case. I mean, you have 2 0-5 teams in the NFL, and one of them's in the AFC South, and the other one is in the NFC North. I mean, the NFC North is weird. This division is weird. It's like, I can't put my finger on any of these teams and say that any of them are consistent. Even though the Packers are 4-1, it's because of Aaron Rodgers. Right? You have the Lions. The Lions are, I think the Lions, if they're 2-5 teams in the NFL right now. The Lions and the Jags. And I think the Lions would actually win if they played the Jags. The thing is, they don't actually get to play the Jags this season, so that's too bad. I mean, okay, let's try to predict here real quick, because that'll make the end of this video kind of fun. If the 0-5 teams have to win a game all season, their first win, who will come against? I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think I predicted the Jags would actually win this week, didn't I? Well, fine. Well, let's look at the Lions then. So, why did I predict the Jags to win this week again? Who are they playing? They're playing the Texans, aren't they? Yeah, that's the thing. No, they're playing the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins are injured to crap, so that's the thing, is I think the Jags got a good draw here, and I think they have a chance to be able to win, but I don't know that they will, though, for sure, because it's a prediction for that reason. Okay, so but if the Lions actually win a game this season, where is their first win going to come from? I said that it wouldn't be against the Bengals. I do think they have a chance, but I don't think they're going to actually win that. It's not going to be against the Rams. They have a chance against the Eagles, but I feel like they still lose that. Dude, it would be so Steelers if they ended up losing to the Lions this season. It would be so classic Steelers, dude. I think that's where it's gonna happen. I think the Lions are gonna beat the Steelers. And I mean, like, yes, that's a little bit biased, but like, as a Ravens fan, I do know the Steelers have this propensity to like just mess up games they should easily win. But if it doesn't come against the Steelers, let's just say the Steelers win there, I think they get like 2 shots. They do have 2 shots against the Vikings. So they're probably, I think it's either going to be the Steelers, the Vikings, or the Falcons. Or the Broncos. I think the Lions, with the remaining schedule that they have, could easily pick up like 5 to 6 wins. I don't see the Lions like, yeah, this team is not bad enough to go 0-18, right? Or 0-7, yeah, 0-17. They're not bad enough to go 0-17. But I don't think they're good enough to go more than like 5-12, right? If I were to predict the Lions' final record at the end of the season, I think they end up being like 5-12 or 4-13. Those are the most likely records. If we look at the Jags though, real quick, I think they're gonna win this game this week and be a 1-5 team after that. But then they have a lot of tough games after that, though. I mean, they actually probably win against Seattle. Unless Geno Smith ekes out a... But then they could end up winning 2 in a row. and then they're gonna like lose all these games here, and then they have a good chance to like win against the Jets too. I think again, yeah, I don't see the Jags winning more than like 4 games. I could see the Lions winning like 5 games. I could see the Lions at best winning like 5 to 6 games, but I don't see the Jags winning more than like 4 games. Like at best they win 4 games. That's the thing. I think the Jaguars will probably get a win first, but I think their ceiling is a lot lower than the Lions. All right, peace out, y'all.